Hi, I'm Tom Morris. Stay tuned for a tape with Rabbi Doug.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight.
But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're gonna watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug. Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about Doug.
Shalom and welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. Glad you could be with us today. With me today is this man who you have seen on our show just recently, who said the following.
My name is Thomas T. Morris. I'm running for Alderman, and I am applying for this job. And as a matter of fact, my platform is jobs, jobs, jobs.
And he's here with me right now, Tom Morris. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Doug, for having me on board.
So, Mr. Morris, tell me what made you decide to run for alderman in the 50th Ward in Chicago?
Well, right now, currently, I'm not running for alderman.
You're not running for alderman. No. This is news, people. This is news. Tom Morris is not running for alderman. And why is that?
I have actually withdrew my candidacy.
And I didn't know that. And so we talked about being on the show after you were at the aldermanic debate on Devon Avenue.
That's true.
And here we are. We set up this date to meet, and now I find this out just now today. What is the reason that you withdrew, and what are your plans?
Well, my reason for withdrawing are quite simple. I had communications with the Alderman, the Incumbent right now, during that time since I had the debate.
Alderman Bernard Stone.
Right, that's correct. Well, anybody else.
Well, for those who aren't from the 50th Ward who might not know.
Oh, that's true. Anyway, Bernie and I had sat down and talked a few times, and we discussed about what's the right direction for the 50th Ward, and not only the 50th Ward, but for the City Council itself, because 50th is part of the 49 others in the City of Chicago. What made me decide to jump out or withdraw the race is quite a few things. Restructuring of the ward itself, because right now the whole city's going through that, and the ward is also inclusive of city services, whether it be your garbage or lighting or what have you, or plumbing, water breaks. Everybody's affected by that. It's been going on now for the last couple of years.
Now, you're saying that these problems are because of the budget cuts and the drop in the staff?
Exactly. And that's not due to the alderman, it's due to the mayor. Mm-hmm. And whether Mayor Daley's looking at it or potential other mayoral candidates are looking at it right now, that was the other factor too. We need a strong city council. Strong city council can and will work for the people of Chicago, those who reside here, those who work here. And that goes basically hand in hand. We're all affected by that. We're all affected by the pension services. We're all affected by the city services. This is what makes our world go around. If you don't have what you're used to, and it's gone down to a skeletal situation, you're not going to get anything done. You're not going to get anything accomplished. And what used to be able to take care of in 24 to 48 hours, you've got to wait maybe 2 to 4 weeks, or even sometimes longer than that. When you're talking about a hole in the street, cave-ins, anything that's dangerous and hazardous to our lives right there, that's got to be done. It's got to be taken care of. Alderman Stone, after sitting down and discussing it with him, he agrees that we should go back to our services. No firing, no let go and letting privatization come in there. He's not for that. He knows that people who work for the city, live in the city, are going to do the right job and take care of it cheaper than what the outside contractor
is your contention that if it was you or somebody else that came on new as a freshman alderman, that the other people in city council and the new mayor will sort of just bypass the way that they can to try and show I can save the budget and not take care of things the way that they should be? And you're saying, I mean, I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. You're saying somebody like Alderman Stone, who's been in, has the influence to prevent that?
Not only Alderman Stone, who's been in council for about nearly 40 years, Alderman Bert, Mel, quite a few handful of other ones that are still understanding what the city needs and going through this crisis, because it's not going to go away. Mm-hmm. And any new junior councilman that's coming in right now, they haven't got a clue. They're going to follow the one waiver. That's whoever's going to be elected as far as the Clowns R Us mayoral race. That's fine. Go along with them, but that's you're going to hurt people. You're going to hurt the constituency of this ward here and any other ward out there. That's why you need the experience. One of the reasons why I asked Bernie why he wanted to continue to run and help out the ward itself is that he's been in on depth charted waters. I haven't. That made a lot more sense. He's experienced veteran. Speaking of veterans, also, Bernie and I and a few other handful of the people that I know within the ward itself are veterans of the United States military. I yield to them, and they yield to me. We've sat down, we discussed about it. So it's not just my decision to say, I'm going to withdraw. I had to look at everything around the board.
So let me start all over again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. I'm here with Tom Morris, former candidate for 50th Ward Alderman, now community activist, and you are saying right now to our constituents that you are supporting Bernard Stone?
Yes, not only have I been a community activist for the last 8, 9, 10 years itself, but yes, I'm enthusiastically, unflinching, going to support Bernard Stone for this coming election on February 22nd. He has demonstrated to me and everybody else out there he knows what needs to be done for the 50th Ward. He's got handcuffs on his hands as well, too. I understand that. What I can't understand is why the other candidates can't see from it, and I can understand why they can't see from it. They are not working within the city. They do not work from the city itself as far as understanding what it takes to get the jobs done. I give them, nobility prizes for trying their effort right there. They're all noble causes. Recently, one with Ahmad Khan and who was the other one for raising money for the Pakistan flood victims out there. That's nice. That's noble. Okay, going out there doing a winterization party for the kids at the local park district. Again, noble gestures. Nobility is one thing, but getting the job done is another. I also had, not nobility cause, but also had a job fair recently. I've done something recently for the ward. I've hired 2 people. My jobs line right now, which is also going to be inclusive of helping out Alderman Stone and the people of the 50th Ward and anybody else out there who's watching this program. This is
a non-for-profit community service?
Yes, it is. And I get jobs every day. All they have to do is get on the internet and sign up for it. They will get jobs. There's an array of jobs, whether it's city or state or county. And that's not necessarily have to be with any political organization or government organization. It's also other companies, private companies out there. You got People's Gas, you got Com Electric. You've got a lot of jobs out there paying.
We're letting you know that those positions are available.
They are available. They are available. And you've got to take advantage of it right now. You can't sit around saying, I'm still waiting for my unemployment check. And that being said right there, who knows whether they're going to get anything or not. Or I know it's coming late, but let's put it this way. Try to do the best you can for your family. This is the times, and this is going back to with Alderman Stone. You got to remember, 72, 73, when he came into this office, what did we go through? The embargo, even plates. You remember those days?
Oh, I remember.
All right, I was a little nipper my day.
I was young.
And here it is. We're going through it. 83, we had the process. We had the same thing, a recession. 91, 92, we were pretty much hurting at that time. 90, 91, 92. Again, here we are 20 years again. I should say even early part of 2001, 2002. Bernie's been there. He understands what's going on. He understands what the needs is for the ward, for the community out there.
And you feel that he's still as strong and has the ability to make things happen?
I truly believe that. But not only that, you have to understand one other thing. He is vice mayor. Now, he doesn't point, they don't just say, I'm just the vice mayor and there you go, and that's nothing. He and his other collective councilmen out there said, you know what, you are the right man to serve the job. Now, who's going to argue with and they can argue with the other city councilmen, thumbs up, thumbs down, but he has been in that position. He understands what's going on in the ward.
Right, the other councilmen elect him.
Yes. And he's the man of integrity. Okay, a lot of people don't. They look at it. He's made a lot of mistakes. You know what? I expect some mistakes. If I'm in a job for 40 years, nearly, Don't tell me I haven't made a mistake.
Right.
You haven't made a mistake.
Absolutely.
So we can't change the past. We're going in a new direction. Yet with Stone's experience, stay the course. Stay the course of the ward.
Interesting. Now, I had him as a guest on my show, and he said to me, I was thinking of retiring. I remember the statement so well. I was thinking of retiring, but when I heard that the mayor was retiring, I said, how can I leave the city council without my knowledge of finance and buildings and so on, because there won't be people who know how to do that. It could cause problems for the city council in the future.
Well, let's put it this way. He made it. He did make a correct statement on it, but also it goes a little bit more than just the city council itself. He's talking about his neighbors. He's talking about the people down the street. Foreclosures. Okay, who wants to be out in the street and watch one of your neighbors being thrown out? He has the right to go ahead and stop that right there. He has the right to go ahead and help the people out there. It's just not just here he is. Here he's got jobs. He helps out with people as well too. He provides services. He is here. I'm here to assist him on this election, not only in this election here, but after continuously with my job fairs, with my jobs itself. We're going to have business workshops to help people out, whether want to get into business or want to go ahead and enhance their current business. It's important because times are changing. You can't be a one-trick pony. Stone knows that. I know that. The other people, they still sit around the circle jerk table and playing footsies with each other. Say, oh, you're it. You gotta be there. You gotta understand. You gotta experience. That's the reason why I went with Stone.
I'm curious how you got started on the not-for-profit community activist job facilitator. How did you get started on that? That was before you were running for alderman.
That's correct. That's correct. Because you have to understand it as well, too. Look at the ward. Look at the city right now. Look at the last couple of years. People need to, you're talking about stimulus package. TARP, you see the whole nationwide going through that, people looking for jobs. I wanted to help our community. If you look at our area, our ward, it's the UN, the gateway to the UN right here.
It sure is.
You got over 51 different languages spoken out here. You got 50 different nationalities out there. Some may share the same languages, but this area right here. This is the world right here. Who doesn't want to have pride in helping that part of the city out right there? Stone does. I do.
Do you think, in your own opinion, and you were running for alderman, do you think that this ward is one of the greatest wards in the city out of the 50? Do you think that this is, like, in your opinion, a great place to live, or it could be a much greater place to live? What is your outlook on the 50th ward, being someone who's looking from here and from here at the same time?
I've been here for over 12 years, and I've enjoyed it. I lived in different parts of the city, and there's some other wards that are nice, and those aldermen, they do take care of their area, and they try their best and everything else. This is a unique ward. You've got to, again, I reiterate, you've got over 150 different nationalities, 51 different languages spoken here. There's going to be communications problems. There's not, but here's another thing, too. Stone's got people that do the bilingual, trilingual, quadlingual. He's here to help them out. Yes, it is one of the best wards in the city. That's why I continue to live here. That's why I continue to be active about it. And I'm going to tell you something right now. If I feel that the alderman's out of whack, I'll be no different than anybody else and address that to him. Everybody else does. Why? What difference does it make for me?
Sure.
I'm supporting him because I want to see our area in the next 4 years supersede and also not get buried with the events that's happening downtown, and that's the new mayoral election, and that's got to be, that's a conundrum right there. And I'm going to reiterate too, if you got clowns or us running for mayors down there and trying to figure out they're going to wave the wand and all of a sudden hocus pocus, we're right back on Easy Street, forget it. And I had to go with, I'm not worried about my ego, but I'm looking at what's going to happen here, not just 6 months down the road, another year, 2 years down the road. I want to be in part of the recovery just like everybody else does. Does it make sense to you?
It does make sense to me. I wanted to ask you your opinion. Now, I understand, and I never asked the alderman this on TV or any of the other candidates who I've talked to. I understand that Devon Avenue in the Indian Pakistani area where all the stores are is the largest concentration of tourist shopping of the Indian and Pakistani communities and visitors from around the world outside of India. Is that true? You would know that better than me, and I've never asked that before, but I heard that statement that we have.
You asked me that because I was in Aruba earlier last year.
Really?
And I enjoyed it there. And I met a few Pakistan folks there, and they kept on mentioning to me about Devon Avenue and Gandhi Avenue there. I said, yeah, it's still there. We were there in a snowstorm, and we seen it there, and they loved it. They loved it. They ingratiated themselves with it. That the city, Chicago, would go ahead in a certain area, especially with the 50th Ward, would actually mention anything that had to do with Pakistan or India or Hyderabad or any of those other locations in Chicago.
Some of the most popular restaurants in the city of Chicago itself are right here on Devon Avenue because you don't find restaurants like that in other parts of the city.
That's correct. That's correct. They make excellent food, and they got different. You got to remember too, Indians there. Indians and Pakistan. They got different. Regions of their food, and they love it. And of course, and I'm a pan chewer, so I love pan, which is one of those after dinner mints.
Being kosher, I've never been to these places, but
you would enjoy it. Okay. They got a sweet one too.
Very nice. Very nice.
But no, truthfully, sincerely. Yes, they have it there on Devon Avenue. We need to address, and Alderman Stone is needing to address he's addressing those parking issues, and that's not going to go away. I don't care how much more parking you put over there, it's still not going to go away. You're always going to have parking. You got to remember too, Devon Avenue also is a grocery store line where a lot of people come down here and see the Patel brothers for their needs, for their daily consumptional needs right there. Not just, we come here once a week.
Isn't it wonderful that business is so strong on Devon Avenue, going all the way down through the 50th Ward, to the edge of the 50th Ward into the 49th Ward? Isn't it amazing that Devon Avenue has so much business that there are parking problems? I mean, it really is a wonderful thing for this ward.
You want to say it's a wonderful thing? Yes, it is, but you want to accommodate those people that actually are coming and want to park and coming in from the other parts of the city itself. You got to remember too, we're still experiencing a lot of growth, gentrification in certain areas itself. Different ethnicities are opening up different specialty shops over there, wanting to attract other businesses. A lot of people brought to the attention that we couldn't address those needs, and I think we can. I know we can. Too bad we have to pay an extra $1.50 for parking. That being said, though, I understand Alderman Stone will help re-adjudicate that process once he's elected, and they look at it with the new mayor.
So Alderman Stone's plans, as far as he's told you, is that he wants to come together with the city council and the new mayor to address the raise in parking rates at the parking meters.
Everything. Even the contract itself. Oh, yes. That's important right there. You got to remember, we don't want to gouge. We want to go ahead and receive. We want to receive. Everybody wants a fair shake and a fair plan out there. And an extra $1.50. Well, a lot of people don't. If they're coming out of town, they'll go ahead and do that. When you live here, you work here, sleep here, party here, you got to figure out what your balance is all about.
Interestingly, but not going into detail, one of the recent people I had on my show is one of the mayoral candidates, Jay Stone, who told me that the parking garage contracts and the parking meter contracts are the very same company, that they have absolutely control of all the money coming into the city for parking, whether it's in the garages in the city or the meters that are set up now. How did they ever let that happen?
Agreed.
Is it because of the Olympics? Because Mayor Daley needed the money for the Olympics when he expected to get that?
Everybody wanted a wish in one hand and something else in the other hand. They figured out which one's going to outweigh each other right there. The Olympics, that was another conundrum right there as well too, and the city's paying for that. That Michael Reese Hospital.
I was born there.
Well, it's still standing there. What I understand,
the building is standing. Yeah.
Other than that. I don't think actual clear planning through this whole process was there as far as making those purchases or leasing off the Skyway as well too. I'm a little bit leery about that contract itself. That being said, right there, it's just like give away the money at Midway. Not Midway, Miggs, I'm sorry.
Miggs Field. Go on.
You know, I understand you're worried about 911, but there was a lot of aircrafts coming in there, and they were paying their fees, and they were happy to pay their fees because they were actually visiting the city of Chicago.
They were able to get into the city.
Exactly. Now, you know, it's a whole different story. And like I said, we can't change the past. We're going to go in a new direction.
Sure.
And that's where I believe that a lot of people, you know, we are all going to go in a new direction. Which way do we go? You know, right now, I can stand another 4 years of, and I say that lovingly, jokingly, whatever you want to put it, another 4 years with Bernard Stone at the helm to guide the ship right. That's important right now. The banks know that, all right? When I say banks, any of your bankers out there know that. Your grocery stores out there know that. Anybody who works, lives, breathes inside this area, they know this. It's a totally different ward. Even though we are a ward in the city of Chicago, this is different. And everybody feeds off each other and enjoys each other. We got European, we got Western. When it comes to medicine, foods, religion, we're all cloistered in this area here. That's a lot. That's a handful. But for right now, there is crisis. We need Stone. Okay? And Stone's out there to help people out. He's not ignorant. He's still got his faculties. Trust me on this, folks. I kicked his tires a few times, too, to make sure he was there.
I am here. We're here on Tape with Rabbi Doug. I'm here with Tom Morris, former aldermanic candidate of the 50th Ward, community activist in the 50th Ward. And stay with us. We'll be right back.
I am American.
I am an American.
I'm an American.
I am American.
I am America.
I'm an American.
I am American.
I am an American.
Well, I'm Jesse White, Illinois Secretary of State, and you're watching Tape with Rabbi Doug. Thank you.
Welcome back. I'm here with Tom Morris, who is a community activist in the 50th Ward. He's a former aldermanic candidate, as we found out tonight. He is now supporting Bernard Stone, the incumbent 50th Ward alderman. Tom, what was your first steps into activism in the community?
My first steps.
What were they?
Just going around the neighborhood and checking out, again, whether you just can't just say the neighborhoods. There's several different areas of neighborhoods in the city of Chicago, or in this ward itself, because of the ethnicity, the foods, the languages. Anybody who moved in, when I moved in this neighborhood 12 years ago, I looked around and said, wow, I got the whole world here. It reminds me when I was stationed overseas in England in the Air Force, and it was like down in London town, and the whole world down there. So I gravitate to this area, and a lot of people do gravitate to this area because they like it. You know, there's some kind of familiarity to it, and I'm sure you see the I don't want to say romance out of it, but it's nice.
There is a romance to it in a way. You know, I love living in the 50th Ward.
Right.
I love the 50th Ward, and I love the diversity in it. Some people say, well, you know, don't you wish that everybody was like you? The whole ward was your ethnicity. I absolutely wouldn't like that. I love the fact that you can drive down the street and see people, and it's so nice that when you see people getting along, whether they are, Caucasian, whether they are Arab, whether they are Muslim, whether they are born American, whether they're Chinese, Japanese, Korean, you know, it doesn't matter where they're from or who they are. Everybody in this ward says, good morning when you walk by on the street, or how are you today, or excuse me when they walk by you and need to pass by you. There's just something about being in this ward where, the denominations are kind of bland because everybody gets along. It really is a beautiful thing.
It is. And that was one of the other key things, too, because a lot of people don't know this, but I wasn't born in the States. I was born overseas. I was born in Augsburg, Germany. And my father and mother were, in the military, U.S. citizens, but I was born in Augsburg, just outside of it, called Landstuhl.
What do we need to do, or what do we need to support to make this the best place it can be? being that it's a wonderful place already.
Well, that's true, too. Now, you got to remember, too, I grew up in the 60s and the 70s as well, so I don't encourage going down City Hall and burning the bra down there. But I would encourage that make phone calls, call over here, contact, email. As far as if you're not getting city services itself, you got to let the alderman know. You can call 311, but that's another story itself.
Goes into a computer.
Oh, they all go through it, and it's investigated in a month from now or so on and so forth. And unless there's a catastrophe where the street's caving in, and that's another ward right there. But you have to look at it and say, hey, I want to do what I can to help out my neighbors. Not being a big brother or
neighborhood watch.
Neighborhood watch. That's nice right there too. Community, youth, ward youth community would be really nice, and I think that's what the alderman was talking about as well too. Helping out instead of having not so much as the CAPS, but also forming CAPS into a youth community group, ward like a youth advisory committee. That's helping out right there. Even though I understand the alderman has discussed about working with other units out there that want to form a advisory committee within the ward itself. That being said, right there, they could voice and do whatever they want. But there's also town meetings and there's ward nights over here as well too, Monday and Thursday. So
in the alderman's office.
In the alderman's office, and yes, and once he makes the appointment, that person wants to make the appointment. They see the alderman and voice their concerns and seek his advice as far as what their needs are all about, because that's what it's all about right here.
Very good.
Again, he's been here for 40 years. Come on. We prayed that we would. I think you and I were talking beforehand, and also talked about upbringing where we came from. As far as you worked a job the rest of your life, you got a job, tried to work there as 30, 40 years. Those jobs are not there anymore. You know it as well as I do. Again, you can't afford to be a one-trick pony. That's why my platform was jobs, 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 and my jobs, and now helping out the 50th Ward with Alderman Stone to support the whole ward needs, and that's what we're there for.
Great. Well, Tom, we are near the end of the show. I want to thank you so much for being on. Just in 30 seconds, could you tell the people a final statement on what you want to say to them?
On February 22nd, I'm encouraging you and asking you to consider voting for Alderman Stone again. I see what we can do and what he can do to help us out in the state of course for the next 4 years. It's not a tall order, it'll go by quick. But I'm asking you to re-elect somebody who's got experience, city council experience, who's also been selected and being elected as vice mayor itself, and has been in that position for nearly 12 years or so. And I'd like to see him go ahead and follow the course with the ship that we're in right now, not abandoning ship. He could have abandoned ship, he really could have, but he's not. He wants to make sure the area is taken care of. We want to make sure we have somebody that's looking after us for the next 4 years.
Well, I expected to hear why you wanted to run for alderman, but now I hear that you are supporting Alderman Stone, and I wish you much success, Tom Morris, and all your endeavors and all your community activism. I want to thank you all for being with us. Remember, check out our website, www.tvrabbi.com. And also, if you want to email us, it's info@tvrabbi.com, info@tvrabbi.com. I want to thank you again, Tom Morris, and I want to thank all of you and hope to see you next time right here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Shalom, everyone.
And I'm talking about Rabbi Doug. Talking about Rabbi Doug. Talking about Rabbi Doug on your TV show. Well, he's the rabbi for me. Anytime you need. You're gonna get married or you're gonna die. Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug on the TV tonight.
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug production.